So you're thinking about moving here to Seven Pines and you don't know where to start? Well, this is a great video for you because in today's video, we are going to talk all things Seven Pines and we're gonna look at one of their beautiful model homes here in Seven Pines. So when we go in, we're gonna check out some beautiful features that some of which you may never have seen before. So you're gonna wanna see that as well. With that being said, let's now check out this amazing floor plan. Now let's check out this beautiful floor plan. So what you're gonna see when we first come in, this is something I love when the builder does, is we have these super tall, front door, but you're gonna see these tall doors throughout the whole house. And as we come in, the other thing you're gonna see too is, because we have the tall doors, we have tall ceilings. So this is what I love, is that this builder did 11-foot ceilings across the board for this house. And what they did to really spice it up more is you actually have a tray ceiling in your foyer. And you're gonna see throughout this video, we're gonna have multiple trays, which is something that I love. But not only did they give us a tray here, they also gave us the flooring you see down below up there as a wood inlay. Because these are wood floors, as we move on to the office. These are wood floors throughout the house, which is something that builders don't always do, but I love it when they do that. And again, it's something you can do with your house as well when you're moving to the area. So if you want to know more on how to get stuff like this from the builder, again, reach out to me with a call, text, email, so I can help get those questions answered for you and get you on the right track. Then as we come in the office, again, you're going to see here we have another tray. And also with the office, as you're going to see, it's a very good size. Something that this builder did is they left it open, but they do give you the option to do French doors if you want them. And they also include a little bit of a bookshelf here, just to show you that even with a bookshelf in the space, there's still plenty of room to be able to put, either a small desk like they have here, or if you want a bigger desk, like in the middle of the space, you could definitely do that as well. So again, whether if you work from home, 24/7 or part-time, or if you don't work from home at all, but again, the weekends maybe you have to get on your computer. I know as a realtor, sometimes I have to do that myself. It's a great space to have to be able to do that. And again, with French doors, you can kind of keep it tucked away and quiet for when you are working. Now, on the other side of the house, we're gonna have our 2 bedrooms and another really cool space that you may not have seen before in our videos, but you're gonna see today. So before we get to that though, we're gonna check out the first bedroom here. In this bedroom, it's been laid out to be more of a girl's room with some of the pink colors. Again, they have a queen size, actually it's probably a full size bed in here with end tables. And again, they actually continued this wallpaper up on the ceiling as well to really kind of give it a cool feature, cool touch that you don't see too often. And more importantly than anything else is all these windows. You get so much natural light in here, it's not even funny. And so again, just one of those things that when you live in Florida, when you're thinking about moving to Florida, this right here, having this light, having this beautiful day outside with very minimal clouds, that is why people love Jacksonville. It's why people move to the area and why they love Seven Pines as well. We also do have our closet here, which I just want to quickly highlight just to show it is a walk-in closet. And because it's a walk-in, we actually do get the single door here instead of those bifolds that always break and no one really likes anyways. Then we get to one of the coolest features of this house that I personally love, and I'd love to know your thoughts on, but it's this flex space here. So this flex space, what makes it so cool to me, and again, I'd love to know your thoughts if you're watching this video, so leave a comment below if you like this or if you think you don't know where I'm coming from. But if you have 2 kids, just picture for a second, if you had 2 kids or even just 1 kid, imagine them having their own little mini living room to have for a game room, to have for having their friends over. That gives them their own kind of privacy, so to speak, but also gives you your privacy. So that way when they're in here maybe being loud and playing their games, you can still be in the kitchen, the living room, maybe entertaining your friends without having to worry about them getting in the way, so to speak. Then on the other side, we have our second bedroom. Now this bedroom has just 1 window, so it's not as bright as the first one, as you'll notice. Part of that too is they do have some nice shrubbery outside that does give it a little more shade. But with this room, as you can see, we still have the tall ceilings. They painted the ceiling to kind of match the accent wall here. And then they actually did like a herringbone design with this wood paneling for this accent wall to kind of go with that more boys room thing with the basketball. Again, it could go either way, but again, it does have a little more of a masculine tone with the way they designed it. And here as well, we do have our full-size bed with end tables, but I will tell you this room does feel a little bit bigger than the other bedroom, just something to take into account and keep in mind. And then this closet, still no bifolds. It's not a walk-in like the other one, but it does open up on you, and you still have plenty of space on the sides as well for, again, any sort of clothes you may have and storage you may have that needs to go in here. So all in all, really good size space so far, really good sized rooms. You know, this is a beautiful floor plan that I do love, and so if you want to know more about it, again, make sure to reach out to me so I can help answer any questions you have on it. Then we get to our bathroom. So with this bathroom, we're gonna come on in, and as you're gonna see here, it's a shower tub combo, you know, with a single vanity. But what I love about this shower, and again, it's not something you see very often, is that they went to the ceiling with the tile. Not every builder does that, so I love when they do that. And they actually use more of like a fish scale pattern with the tile, which personally I love. And the reason I love it is because it really ties into, you know, what Jacksonville is all about. You know, we are located, you know, on, you know, right on the coastline. You know, we also have the St. Johns River, you know, that flows through Jacksonville. So having both of those elements, you know, that water around us is something that we really highlight a lot. And it's something that is a part of what it means to live in Jacksonville, because Jacksonville very much is a fishing community. So again, that's a minor detail, but it holds a lot of impact with people who are from here because of just what it means. And then we're gonna head to our laundry room. So again, we're gonna get to the living room in a second. You know, you're gonna love to see that, so stay tuned. But we're gonna check out the laundry room now, which has its own little area of the house, which I like because, you know, you can kind of tuck it away. You know, if you have stuff going in the wash, go in the dryer, you can close this door to kind of keep it quiet for the rest of the house. So again, it's nice to have it here. Although on the flip side, being kind of tucked away, you may forget about it as well. So you gotta be a little bit careful of that. But a couple things I do love about this space before we move on is that, again, they did do some additional cabinetry here. They gave us a little bit of workstation over there where they continue that same quartz that we saw in the first bathroom. And then this flooring is actually more like a paver kind of flooring, which is a little bit different than the rest of the house, but it actually blends in very well because it has a lot of grays in it like the wood does. And honestly, something that I do kind of like. It gives it more of a exterior feel while still being inside. So overall, really, really a cool aspect there. All right, now let's go check out one of the best features of this house, which is our living and dining and kitchen space. So this space, what I love about it is we get even taller ceilings in here. We get tons of natural light. And again, it's very elegant. It's very sleek. You know, it's not the largest space we've ever done, but it is laid out super well. And that starts off with our kitchen over here, where you actually have a massive island, which is crazy enough, one singular piece of quartz. You don't always see that now, especially with one-story houses. It's a little more possible, but not always. But you have this massive island here where they also put in our sink and our dishwasher that opens up at a 45-degree angle to our living room. Now that might seem a little odd. You know, why is Justin bringing that up? Well, the reason I'm bringing that up is because you don't see it very often. You know, normally this kind of island setup, you're either gonna have it face the back of the house or the side of the house. So having it at a 45-degree where it's facing the corner of the back of the house is kind of a cool thing that a lot of times may go unnoticed, but I personally love to mention those kinds of things. So it's those small details that differentiate your house from everybody else's, which if you're moving here, will normally be pretty important. Then we get to our main part of the kitchen, which is gonna be our additional countertop space. We do have plenty of storage as well. They have pull-outs on both sides, some thinner like that, some deeper like this. And then they also give us a beautiful oven, stovetop combo. And again, as you can see here, it is a gas stovetop. One thing about Seven Pines, and this is something that, again, you don't always know until you know, is that being in Duval County, it's a gas community. We don't have very many gas communities here in Duval County. If you go just a little bit down south St. John's, you get plenty. So if you want to know about those as well, reach out to me. But here in Duval, this is something that is very, not very common. So something that I would want to point out, because if you're watching this video and you're from up north or out west, you may be more accustomed to gas. And so it gets kind of odd sometimes when people move here, because they always have that question for me, you know, Justin, why, you know, where can I find a gas community? Where can I find a house that has gas? Well, you know, if you're looking in Duval, there's not a lot of them. Another thing too though, is that, and again, I can always help answer any questions you have on that, but is that with these cabinets, you know, they also, you know, did the raised cabinets in here. They did more of a modern look with them, which I do love. So again, you have plenty of cabinet space. You know, they did a nice, very elegant, very sleek backsplash with a subway tile look. And then another thing you may notice too is there's tons of outlets there. And then they finished it off with our fridge here as well. So again, it's not the largest, but it's laid out so well that you don't always think about that. Then we get to our dining room. Now this dining room is very much a part of the living room and the kitchen. You know, with these open concept houses, you're normally gonna have your dining room space, your living room space, your kitchen all in one. It's why we call it the trifecta of the house. But again, as you can see here, you could easily fit a 6-seater table with additional storage off to the side. And you could probably even do an 8-seater table if you really needed it or wanted it. So just to kind of put that in perspective, you still have plenty of room for that. They finished it off with a pretty cool chandelier as well, which matches the one in the living room. Now, before we go outside, because I know, don't look at there just yet. You know, again, another crazy feature out there. Before we go outside, let's focus on the living room as well. You know, this living room is a very good size, even though overall the space is maybe a little bit smaller than some of the others. The living room is very well proportioned. You have plenty of space here to have gatherings, whether if it's with friends or family. And again, one of the cool things I think that they did here that, you know, I'd love to know your thoughts on is this accent wall. So this accent wall, this is actually a tile that they did in more of a geometric pattern, which again, just highlights the uniqueness of what the builder on this one was trying to do. So it's one of those things that it makes it very custom, makes it very differentiated from everyone else's, which again is why people want to live here in Seven Pines. So again, if you want to know how you can do something like this with your future house, reach out to me because I can definitely help get you on the right track to make that happen. And then we're gonna now check out the primary bedroom, which, you know, is actually back here, and you're not gonna, you know, wanna miss it. So let's go check that out now. So this primary, what I really like about it, again, it's kind of hidden back in here. You know, again, if you really want to make it extra private, you could put a door right here and you could actually close it off from the rest of the house, really make it like a true ensuite. But again, what I love about it is, again, it's hidden, it's private. When you're back here, you feel like you're in your own little oasis. And that's something that you just don't get all the time with some of these floor plans. Even if they're a split floor plan, even if they're an open concept floor plan, you don't always get this privacy like you do here with this floor plan, with this primary bedroom. A couple things I do want to highlight. We have plenty of natural light that comes in off the side. We also have this beautiful tray ceiling. And again, it may seem like, oh, it's just a simple tray, but what makes it beautiful is those wood beams. Those wood beams really make a difference because it really accentuates it. It ties in with this accent wall where they continued the wood flooring on the wall. Obviously that wood flooring is also on the ground. So it all ties in together. It gives you a lot of those wood elements, which is a lot of reasons, you know, of what makes Seven Pines Seven Pines. And I'll continue this as we go into the primary bathroom, but Seven Pines used to be a pine farm, hence the name Seven Pines. The reason it's called Seven Pines is because the owners of this land had 7 kids who gave it, you know, developed it and gave it so that way the public could have access to it. So hence 7 kids, Pine Forest, 7 Pines. But overall, as we come into this primary ensuite, right away you're gonna notice we have a nice big double vanity here with plenty of countertop space, plenty of cabinetry. So again, for all of your daily essentials that you need in your bathroom. We also have this beautiful oversized shower where they actually continue this marble flooring into the shower for the walls. So very sleek, again, very modern. One of those things that you don't find all the time here in Northeast Florida, and it all ties in beautifully. So it's just one of those things that, again, if this is something that you like, this may be the builder for you. So again, reach out to me so I can help get you any questions answered on this builder or this floor plan right away. But another thing that I love about this is that they actually put a step down in here. Now, some people may not like it because, again, the step down does sometimes make it hard to get in and out depending on your age or, again, if you've had any injuries. But what it does, it keeps all the water in the shower. So you don't need that pesky door that gets in the way here. You can keep it wide open because all the water stays in due to how they designed it. So again, something that I absolutely love that this builder did with their floor plan. That's actually something that if you've seen this builder before, you'll actually notice that feature, this in general bathroom feature is very common for how they do their bathrooms across the board. And then finally, we come into our master closet. And as you'll notice here with this primary closet is that it is a extremely large size for the space. They could have done, some custom closets in here, but as you can tell, there's a lot of space in here, and they even have a little bit in the sides that tucks in. So again, if you have like a small dresser or whatnot, you can easily fit it in there, especially like over here as well. So just something that is cool to see, cool to have, that ultimately does just make it a true primary that you could see yourself in, whether it's for the short term or for the long term. All right, now, I'm sure you wanna see what's outside, so let's go and check that out next. All right, let's now go outside to the beautiful oasis out there. But you know what? Let's not go out through this single door. Again, this is great for if you're coming home for the day and you're coming in from your garage, because this is a rear loading garage house. But again, when you're living here, you don't necessarily need to worry about that single door. What you typically are gonna wanna have is the ability to open up your full sliders. So what I love about opening the full sliders like this is it really brings the outside with the inside, and it really just gives it such a great look and feel for guests when they come visit to be able to really have for entertaining space. So first thing when we come out here, you're gonna notice we are underneath the roof line. And with this roof line, as you can see, there's plenty of room here to protect you from the elements, plenty of ability to be able to still be outside no matter what the weather's like. You could obviously screen it as well, but with it being under the roof line, you could also have a nice outdoor table like you see right here. So again, when it's nice out and you want to eat outside, you have that ability. If you want to watch the sport events, football, basketball, baseball, March Madness, for instance, they already give you your hookup for a TV up here. So again, everything you need for that. But also, again, if you just want to lounge, you also have the loungers here, just to be able to lounge out here and just be able to enjoy being outside. Because again, when people live here in Jacksonville, when people move to this area, they're moving here because they want to be outside more often. They want to be able to enjoy being outside more often throughout the year. Because again, the weather here is almost always super, super pleasant. And with it being pleasant, what else would you like to do? Especially in like the hotter months of the year, the summertime, I'm sure you'd like to go for a swim, right? Well, this builder put an amazing pool with a waterfall feature and a lounge area, which really does just highlight that they maximize this backyard. They obviously made it very much a xeriscape backyard. And ultimately, having that waterfall feature, it does add some more sound to your backyard. But what it does is it drowns out all the other sound. So not only do you get the visual privacy of having that waterfall wall there, but you also get the sound privacy of not having people hear into your backyard and vice versa, not hearing people outside of your backyard. So all in all, it's a really cool space in my opinion. And again, they finished it off with a very nice pebble finish on the inside. They included also some really beautiful tile flooring out here that actually has some grit. So it's one of those things that has just a really good look to it, but also despite if it's wet or not, it's gonna hold grit for you. So yeah, we don't have to worry about slipping or whatnot. And then lastly, just because it is a rear loading backyard, because it's rear loading, your door to your garage is actually right here. And you have your nice pathway to get to your back door to come into your house on after a long day of work or long day of travel, whatever the case may be. And then they also do give you a gas hookup over here. So if you want to have a gas grill or some sort of maybe like gas pizza oven, because we're seeing that a lot more often now, you have that ability to do that. So all in all, it's such a great space out here. On a day like today where we have nice, beautiful skies, amazing weather, it really epitomizes just why people live here and are moving to Seven Pines in Jacksonville. So now to go over more about that, let's go ahead and talk more about just what it means to live in Seven Pines and what's really around here that draws people here. So we'll go over that now. All right, what did you think of this beautiful floor plan here in Seven Pines? Personally, I love the flow of this, and with that backyard, I mean, I can picture myself being out there at all times of the day, whether if it's during the day or even at night, you know, just because of how beautiful it is back there. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, because I'd love to know what you loved or what you may like to see different with this floor plan. But then with that being said, let's talk more about what does it mean to live in Seven Pines. Well, here's what I can tell you. When you live in Seven Pines, you are choosing to live within 15 minutes of the beach, which honestly is where a lot of people prefer living here in the area. Because again, we are right off of Butler Boulevard. So you can take Butler Boulevard right from here, straight down to the beach, like I said, in less than 15 minutes. But let's say you need to go do some shopping or you want to go to a restaurant. Well, here's another beautiful thing about being in Seven Pines. You are less than 10 minutes, maybe even less than 5 minutes away, depending on traffic, from the St. John's Town Center. The St. John's Town Center is the place to go to here in Northeast Florida and really has become the hub of Jacksonville. So really, whether if you're thinking about moving here or if you're just visiting the area, definitely a place that you want to check out. But also, the reason people live here is because Seven Pines has some of the better public schools here in Duval County. But even if you don't want to necessarily go the public school route, we are also super close to some of the better private schools here, such as Providence Middle/High School, which is again, probably about 15 to 20 minutes away because it's located right off of Hodges Boulevard, which is not too far from here at all. So you have all these beautiful things around you, but you're also gonna have things within Seven Pines because Seven Pines is continuing to build up their commercial side with restaurants and shops, different dining options, you know, different health and fitness options. So those are things too that getting in early here in Seven Pines is gonna give you the first access to all those amazing different features with living in the area. And then as far as amenities, you also get some pretty great amenities here for Northeast Florida. With the amenities, you do get the pool, you get the beautiful clubhouse, you get the beautiful fitness area. So things that you don't get across the board with most communities here in Northeast Florida, you get right here in Seven Pines. So again, if you want to know more about Seven Pines, or if you want to know more about this floor plan, do not hesitate to reach out to me so I can help answer any questions you have. Because again, if you don't reach out to me, I can't help you. And my goal is always to help educate and help just bring to light what it means to live here in this amazing area that I've been lucky enough to call my home for most of my life. Now, as far as this floor plan, before I let you guys go, this is the Annie Eliza floor plan. It is built here with David Weekley, and this floor plan is on a 50-foot wide lot, and it starts in the mid 600s, around 644. So you could get a house just like this for the mid 600s, which is an amazing deal, amazing price point to get in here in Seven Pines. And this floor plan starts off as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's roughly 22 square feet, but you also can make it a 4-bedroom, 3-bath if you so desired as well, with some different options that Dave Weekley offers. So if you want to know about those, or if you want to know about the incentives they're offering, because again, they are more specific to each house and each lot, reach out to me today so I can help answer any questions you have about what it means to live here in Seven Pines and what it means to have a home here with David Weekley. So that being said, I'll see you guys again on our next model home tour video.